welcome to MHSTC's production of A Christmas Carol. Who are your presidents?
Evie,
Tom,
and Brianna.
First, please make sure your cell phones are off and silent. Additionally, please no flash photography during the show. Also, please keep the aisles and exits clear. We will also be having a 15-minute intermission for snacks and raffles.
Speaking of raffles, I'd like to talk about the 50-50 raffle. 50% of the proceeds go directly to the Thackum Theater Company, and the other 50% will go to one lucky winner. You can buy your tickets during intermission, 6 for 5 for 6, and then 12 for 10. The lucky winner will be picked at the end of intermission. Concessions will also be sold in the lobby at intermission. You can also purchase a candygram for a cast or crew member for their hard work. We want to thank you again for your support tonight, and on behalf of the entire Thackum Theater Company, we hope you enjoy our show. See you next
Autobiography. These, then, are the facts. When I was 12, my father was declared bankrupt and incarcerated in Marshalsea, the debtor's prison. Most of the family went with him. But the creditors determined that one of us had to pay the debt. So I was taken away and placed in a damp, lightless factory where they manufactured bootblacking. For 12 hours a day, I pasted on labels on blacking jars. I was diligent in my work, and tried not to hear the incessant scurrying beneath the floorboards. Or I would pretend it was rain on the window, and that I was safely home in bed. But when the noises began running, squealing, even an imagination as resolute as mine could not make of anything but what they were. Sometimes at midday, the owner, my mother's cousin, would set me out at the large window facing the street. Passerby could stop and admire the industrious little boy at work with his paints, brushes, and a pot of glue. I was often credited with the large purchases made by the lunch hour crowds.
Facts. Not interested.
You're quite the critic.
Despite our poverty, the spirit of Christmas maintains in our poor home like the living giant.
Perhaps you could help me make something of all this? Where'd you get this?
The ladies in the alley.
What alley?
I think they stole it.
Tell me more.
There's a man with a goose outside.
Yes, we're having a Christmas Eve party tonight.
He has another goose.
A sure sign Mark Lemon will be there.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
I beg your pardon?
Do you think he has to work tonight?
Who?
The goose man.
I'd say so.
He must work for a nasty man having to work on Christmas Eve.
Many people have to work on Christmas Eve. What are you doing?
Looking for something?
There's nothing in there. What the devil?
A game.
I'm no good at blind man's buff.
Not that one. Don't you recognize it?
No. Should I? Who runs about the street underneath it?
No one.
Wasn't mine then. What's this?
The prize of it all.
Not a clock, I'll be bound.
Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Merry Christmas, Charles Dickens. If our Savior had known that we'd be celebrating his 1843rd birthday in such a fashion, would have come down and put an end to things centuries ago. It was you who confounded my shins, wasn't it? Hi-ho, Uncle Porpoise. Hi-ho. What's this? Decorations.
I've never seen any man run so. Never seen so large a man run so, you mean? Off you go, about your work.
Work?
Uncle Bob's told us to trim the room like a tree. Do it up proper, he said, or I'll show you how.
He's gone mad.
He is excited. You excited him, Mark Lemon.
Uncle Porpoise.
I only suggested that he tell us a Christmas story. Seems a thoroughly reasonable request, seeing as it is Christmas Eve. Next thing I know, he's chasing me about with a broomstick.
Up the stairs to the attic with you. You cut quite a figure, quite a path too. Tumbled every vase in the vicinity, I think.
If a vase can't move out of the way when it sees me coming, well then, whose fault is that? Christmas has driven him mad. The most beloved writer in England. I think we're entitled to a story.
He's got something up his sleeve, the old magician.
The old murderer, you mean? I nearly broke my legs over that trunk.
Oh, that's the theatrical trunk. For the costumes and so on? You've never seen our theatricals, have you, Uncle Porpoise? Stanley here paints the scenery and, acts as well. They're a smashing bit of fun. Dickens chooses the plays, rehearses us night and day for a month, and we take him out for charity. We've all of us done them, even the children. We've raised hundreds for the children's hospitals.
And that trunk very nearly landed me in the hospital.
Up with you!
Good God, he's driving the women up too!
I don't know how we've done it, but we haven't spilled a single drop. He'd have our heads if we did, he insisted. We have the punch.
Bravo, ladies. Remarkable feat.
I think it's an accomplishment to be chased round the table and up 3 flights of stairs, carrying a full bowl of punch and not spill a single drop. What could he be thinking?
Something outrageous, I'm quite confident.
Well, if that's any indication, I'm certain we'll need to fortify ourselves for whatever it is he has in mind. Have some punch.
Look at this, my dear. A serenade.
Oh, Stanley, please, not a serenade.
And why not? You know how handy I am with a fiddle and a bow.
I know several cats who could disagree. Stanley played beneath my window for a week before I agreed to marry him. And only under the strictest condition that he give up music and swear fidelity on his artist brush.
Nonsense. We only agreed that I not play beneath your window, and I haven't. Now then, ladies and gents, little Christmas child.
Good heavens, what is that man up to?
There, Uncle Porpoise, does it look like Christmas?
It's superb, Helen. All it lacks is a tree.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Child, which way to the east?
Good God! What have you done to the tree, Charles?
It insisted I bring some of it upstairs. Take a bow, it said. I don't want to be left out and I won't miss a minute.
What is all this?
I've seen a vision. A miser's bed.
I say,
A boy with a crutch. Looks like he's busted a broomstick. A man wrapped in chains. Stunning, brilliant idea. The one who's missing will be here directly. Won't he be in a temper? Come look. The night is folding itself around us. The moonlight fades as the fog slides in. It's freezing, thawing, sniveling. The pavement's greasy with the damp. Nothing can stand in the street, and nobody can quite fall.
a good night to be indoors by a fire in the parlor.
I'd quite forgotten. I apologize. Fred, by all means, a fire.
Right.
We can't very well have a Christmas story without a fire blazing.
So it is a story. You needn't put us through all this for the sake of a story. You could have told it as easily in the parlor. There's a very nice fireplace in the parlor.
No. I have it. He wants to tell it here, where he writes, to be inspired by the atmosphere.
This is my party that I planned
know.
months
It's his
for.
office. It's his
We should
space.
be having it in our attic.
No, peace. This is Christmas Eve. It's my work telling stories. Surely you don't suggest a man work on Christmas Eve? No, I've something else in mind. I think he should be here. My man in chains. I want everyone to greet him with a very Merry Christmas, John. Now, be prepared for a blow. Batten down the hatches. Hide! Submerge yourself, Uncle Porpoise.
anybody here?
Merry Christmas, John.
Merry Christmas, John!
You lunatic! Explain yourself at once!
Gentle Forster, meek and mild, Merry Christmas.
I don't see any chains.
What's she talking about?
Ladies and gentlemen, my good, most understanding friend John Forster. Forster, I don't believe you met everybody. What about my niece Helen?
No, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, John.
Yes, yes. Now, will someone please explain why we're spending such an auspicious night in such an unorthodox, uncomfortable, and odious little room?
It's simple. Uncle Porpoise here suggested that Dickens tell us a Christmas tale, and instead of sitting us around the fire downstairs, he's herded us all up here.
You asked Dickens to tell a story, and he refused? Don't just stand there, man. Fetch a doctor. He's dangerously ill.
No, I'm as healthy as you are, and I'd be as glad of a Christmas story as you'd be. But if there's a worse sin than working on Christmas Eve, it's one man doing all the work while the rest sink back and savor his industry. No, if we're to have a story, let us each take a part in its telling. Everything we need for a tale of Christmas is in this room. The costumes and properties of Dickens' theatricals.
I say, this could be fun.
It will be glorious.
Just a moment, dear friend Dickens. We're going to tell a Christmas story?
We're going to perform a Christmas story, yes, John.
Will there be ghosts and such things in this Christmas story?
Most assuredly. What's a Christmas story without them?
And we, respectable adults, are going to glide about pretending to be said ghosts, which are strictly products of over-fertile imagination?
Yes, again, John.
Do I get to play them?
The entire success of my plan rests on the assumption you'll play a number of ghosts.
Good, because otherwise I'd not participate. But as it stands, I'll do it. And I'll like the devil out of all of you.
Bravo! Now, the roles. To Charlie, the very young gentleman, beginning with the caroler. To Helen, the very young ladies, also beginning with the caroler. Now, remember, your families don't have all the nice things that you two do. Now pick a carol and make it a good one too. Off you go. As for you, Stanny, to you fall all the hard-working and young gentlemen, a role which you are thoroughly well accustomed to. Beginning with the clerk, called Cratchit. As for you, Fred, befall a mix of dandies and men determined to get ahead in the world, a role which you are thoroughly unaccustomed. Beginning with the name of all names, Fred. As for you, Catherine, befall the matrons and the mothers, of the latter which you fit so well, though the former will determine some imagination on your part. Beginning with the creature called Mrs. Fezziwig. And for you, dear Rebecca, all the young and available young ladies. And for Uncle Porpoise, all the most well-rounded roles. And for you, Forster, everything else, including a ghost or two. Within these bounds, feel free to play whomever and whatever you like. I shan't be annoyed if you stretch or exchange assignments so as long as you act for the sake of the story. Make use of the items I've given you, and carry them with you throughout the entire tale, giving a unity to our work. Make use of the items, use each other, use the furniture. Bear in mind one thing only. Marley is dead. There must be no doubt whatever about that. This must be distinctly understood, or nothing wonderful can come from the story we are about to create. Marley is dead as a doornail. Scrooge knew he was dead. Of course he did. How could it be otherwise? Scrooge and he were partners for I don't know how many years. Once upon a time, on all good days of the year, on Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house. It was a cold, bleak, biting weather. The city clocks had only gone just 3, and it was quite dark already. It had not been light all day. The fog came pouring in at every chinking keyhole. Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, old Scrooge, a squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, covetous old sinner. The cold within him froze his features, nipped his pointed nose, shriveled his gait, stiffened his cheek, made his eyes red and his thin lips glued. He spoke shrewdly out in his grating voice. The cold within him made us carry his own low temperature always about with him. He iced his office in the dog days, and he didn't thaw at 1 degree at Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Ah, humbug.
Christmas a humbug? You don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do. Merry Christmas. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Come then, what reason have you to be so dismal? You're rich enough.
What's Christmas time to you but a time for paying bills without money? Time for finding yourself a year older but not an hour richer. A time for balancing your books and having you have every item in them weighed dead against you. Bah, humbug.
Don't be cross, Uncle.
What else can I be when I live in such a world of fools as this? Merry Christmas. Out upon Merry Christmas. If I could work my will, every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled in his own pudding and buried with a stake of holly through his heart. He should.
Uncle!
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way, and let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone then. Much good it may do you. Much good it has ever done you.
There are many things by which I have derived good, by which I have not profited. I dare say Christmas among them. It's the only time of the year I know of when men and women open up their shut-up hearts and think of the less fortunate as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave, not another race of creatures. And therefore, Uncle, though it's never put a single scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, and will do me good, and I say God bless it.
Let me hear another sound out of you, and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation. You're quite the powerful speaker, sir. I wonder you don't go into Parliament.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come dine with us tomorrow.
I'll dine with the devil first.
But why, Uncle?
Why did you get married?
Because I fell in love.
Because I fell in love. Good afternoon.
I want nothing from you. I ask nothing of you. Why can we not be friends?
Good afternoon.
I'm sorry to my heart to find you so resolute. We've never had any quarrel to which I have been a party. But as I made this visit in homage to Christmas, I'll keep my Christmas humor to the last. So Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon. And you're another fellow. My clerk with 15 shillings a week, a wife and family, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam.
Scrooge Marley's, I believe. Do I have the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead for 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt that his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive time of year, Mr. Scrooge, it is more than usually desirable that we should make some provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer gravely at this present time. Many thousands are in want of common necessities. Hundreds of thousands are in want of common comforts, sir.
Are there no prisons?
There are plenty of prisons.
And the workhouses, are they still in operation?
They are. I wish I could say they were not.
Oh, from what you had said before, I was worried for a moment that something had occurred to stop them in their useful course. I'm very glad to hear it.
Under the impression that they scarcely furnish cheer of mind or body, a few of us are endeavoring to raise a fund for meat and drink and means of warmth. We choose this time because it is a time of all others, when abundance rejoices and want is keenly felt. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since you asked me what I wish, gentlemen, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas. I cannot afford to make idle people merry. I help support the establishments I've mentioned. They cost enough. Those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they'd rather die, they'd better do it and decrease the surplus population. Besides, I don't know that.
But you might know it.
It's not my business. It's enough for a man to know his own business, let alone interfere with other people's. Mine occupies me constantly. Good afternoon.
Mr. Scrooge! I hope that you will reconsider the spirit of the day and think again. Here's my card.
Bah! Humbug! Beggars. Pests. You'll be wanting all day tomorrow.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient. It's not fair. If I were to stop your wages half a crown, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge.
Poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. But I suppose you must have the whole day. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And a Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge. Bah! Humbug!
Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and, having read all the newspapers and beguiled the rest of the night with his banker's book, went home to bed. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on Scrooge's door, except that it was very large. It is also a fact that Scrooge has seen it night and day since his whole residence in the place. And it is known that Scrooge had as little of what is called fancy as any man in the city of London. And Scrooge had no thought of his dead partner since the last mention of Marley that afternoon. Now, let any man explain if he can, when Scrooge put his key in the door, he saw in the knocker, not a knocker, but
Marley's face. Bah! Humbug! Humbug. It's nothing. It's the wind.
yeah.
It's humbug still. I won't believe it. How now? What do you want with me? Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. You don't believe me.
I don't.
Why don't you have your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. A slight disorder of the stomach makes them cheat. You may be an undigested bit of beef, a blob of mustard, a crumb of cheese, a fragment of an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug, I tell you, humbug! Mercy, dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me?
Man of worldly mind, do you believe in me or not?
I do. I must. But why do you walk the earth? Why do you come to me?
It is required that every person with the spirit within us should walk abroad among all human beings and travel far and wide. That spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. It is doomed to wander through the world and witness what it cannot share but might share on earth in turn to happiness.
You are wrapped in chains. Tell me why.
Every chain I forged in life, I knew it. Link by link, and yard by yard. I girded it on of my own free will, and of my own free will I bore it. Is its pattern strange to you?
It is.
Would you know the weight and length of the strong coil you bear yourself?
and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob Barley, tell me more. Speak comfort to me.
I have none to give. A very little more is all that's permitted of me. I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond the counting house. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our money-changing hole. Weary journeys lie before me.
You must have been very slow about it, Jacob.
Slow!
7 years dead. And traveling all the time.
The whole time on the wings of the wind. No rest, no peace, incessant torture of remorse.
But you were always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business? Mankind was my business. The common welfare was my business. Charity, mercy, forbearance were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop in the comprehensive ocean of my business.
Don't be hard on me, Jacob.
My time is nearly gone. How it is that I appear before you in a shape that you can see I may not tell. I am here tonight to warn you that you have yet a chance of escaping my fate. A chance of my procuring, Ebenezer.
You were always a good friend to me, Jacob. Thank you.
You will be haunted by 3 spirits.
Is that the chance you mentioned, Jacob?
It is.
I think I'd rather not.
Without their visits, you cannot hope to shun the path I tread. Look you, down upon the people of this planet, your fellow creatures, crawling senses shut through life. Many of them are known to you. You see them in the streets, in the shops, in the great offices of the capital. They go about their business, seldom lifting their eyes to the crying children, to the inhuman misery that surrounds them. But what is this misery to which they know when? Gone from this life, they seek to interfere for good in human affairs, and discover that they have lost power forever. Expect the first spirit tomorrow, when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night, at the same hour. Expect the third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and for your own sake, look that you remember what has passed between us.
Bah! Humbug. One. It's past 2 when I went to bed. An icicle must have gotten into the works. Are you the spirit, sir, whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No. Your past.
What business brings you?
Your welfare.
I'm much obliged, but I can't help thinking that a night of unbroken rest would be more conducive to that end.
Your reclamation, then.
Bah! What reclamation is there in the past? I don't want to see it,
Why not?
because it is unpleasant to me. No good can come of it.
Take heed. Remember what you've seen already. Rise and walk with me.
But spirit, I am mortal, and likely to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand, and you shall be upheld in more than this. Is this place familiar to you?
Good heavens! I was at school in this place. I was a boy here.
These are but shadows of things that have been. They have no consciousness of us. The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still.
Poor boy.
Ebenezer! Dear, dear brother, I have come to take you home.
Fan?
Home, Fan? Yes, home. for good and all. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. He spoke so gently to me the other night that I wasn't afraid to ask him once more if he might come home. And he said, yes, you should. He sent me in a coach to bring you.
This is a Merry Christmas, Dad.
We'll be together all Christmas and have the merriest time in the world. Come, let's get your trunk.
Always a delicate creature, whom a breath might have withered.
She had a large heart.
So she had. She died a young woman and had, I think, children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
I wish.
What is the matter?
Nothing. There were some children singing a Christmas carol at my door last night. I should like to have given them something. That's all.
Let's look at another Christmas. Do you know this place?
Know it? I was apprenticed here.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer, Dick.
Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, it's Fezziwig alive again.
No more work tonight. Christmas Eve, Dick. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have this place cleared away before man can say Jack Robinson.
Dick Wilkins, to be sure. Bless me, yes. He was very much attached to me, was Dick. Dear, dear.
Hilly-ho! Clear away, my lads, and let's have lots of room here.
My dears, it's Christmas Eve, a toast to that glorious occasion. May tomorrow and the rest of the new year find us merry, content, and above all, filled with the happy goodwill of the season toward all our fellows. And, in honor of that great day, I have engaged the services of the most renowned musician in the city of London. His nimble tricks over and amongst the strings of instruments are well too known for me to relate them. You all know him. You're all acquainted with his miraculous capacity to raise the spirits of even the most mortary of countenances. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you...
My. Don't deserve it, really. Ladies and gents. Small matter to make these silly folk so full of gratitude.
Small?
Is it not? He has spent but 3 or 4 pounds of your mortal money. Is that so much that he deserves praise?
It isn't that at all, Spirit. He had the power to render us happy or unhappy, make our service light or burdensome. The happiness he gave was quite as much as if it had cost a fortune.
What is the matter?
Nothing particular.
Something, I think.
No. I should just like to be able to say a word or two to my clerk just now. That's all.
My dears, the hour grows late. Before we depart, however, Mrs. Fezziwig and I have an announcement. As you know, Mrs. Fezziwig and I have labored these many years to rear a very particular child. The fruits of our labor, I am proud to say, are most satisfactory. More than satisfactory. They are summed up in one beautiful word, Belle.
Now, at the very dawn of her youth and beauty, she has surrendered to the wiles of one of you in this very room, one to whom we furnish shelter, food, and a warm bed.
A sore back and aching eyes, too.
Yes, will not deny he's the hardest working apprentice ever to balance a book or close an account.
Come spring, our lovely Belle shall wed the most industrious of young men, Ebenezer Scrooge!
A dance! A dance from the couple.
Spirit, take me home.
Not as little to you. Very little. Another idol has displaced me. If it can cheer and comfort you in times to come, as I have tried to do, then I have no cause to grieve.
What idol has displaced
A
you?
golden one.
There is nothing on which the world is so hard as poverty, and there is nothing that it professes to condemn so severely as the pursuit of wealth. Such is the hypocrisy of the world.
You fear the world too much. All your other hopes have merged into the hope of being beyond its reproach when it comes to wealth. I have seen your nobler aspirations fall off, one by one, until one passion, gain, engrosses you. Have I not?
What then? Even if I have grown so much wiser, what then? Have not changed towards you? Have I?
Our contract is an old one. It was made when we were both poor and content to be so, until in good time we could both improve our fortunes. What changed? When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
Your own feeling tells you that you are not what you were. I am. It does not matter how long I felt this, only that I have felt it and can release you.
Have I ever sought release?
In words, no. Never.
In what then?
In everything that made my love of any value in your sight.
I'm very sorry, but I have a meeting with some important bankers.
If we never had our past, would you try to win me now?
You think not?
If I could think otherwise, I would. But if you were free today, would you choose a girl with so small a dowry? You, who now weigh everything by gain. If you did, regret would surely follow. So I release you. With a full heart, for the love of him you once were. May you be happy in the life you have chosen.
Go to her, you fool. You fool. Spirit, show me no more. Why do you delight to torture me?
I told you these were shadows of things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Leave me. Take me back. Hold me no longer.
As you wish.
Belle. Belle.
Where's the boy under the cap? I haven't forgotten. He's coming.
Good.
So what do you think?
It's all right. I like the music.
Thank you guys so much for buying our 50-50 tickets. We will now be announcing the winner. But first, we'd like to announce our total.
So in total, we raised $380 in the 50-50 raffle.
100. Oh, yeah, sorry.
And then our winner will get
$190.
All right, and the winner is.
Shake it out.
Oh. Okay. 366-395. No. Okay, I'll repeat it. Okay, 366-395.
Anyone?
Anybody? 366-395.
Oh.
Oh,
We got one.
We have a winner! Okay.
Oh.
Thank
See,
you.
oh.
See
See you in London.
Enter Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh. Enter Ebenezer Scrooge. Oh. Enter Ebenezer Scrooge.
I spotted you sneaking away. What are you up to, giving that infantile magazine Punch up for the linen trade? Or is that too much to hope?
This, my dear Forster, is the next ghost. The ghost of Christmas. Something or other.
To be played by you?
Of course.
My dear fellow, your appearing as a wispy ghost of anything would be an unparalleled accomplishment.
unless it's the ghost of the unleashed Christmas appetite.
Well, your ghosts may be grim apparitions from a fiery hell, as befits your combustible disposition, while my ghosts are avatars of goodness, hope, and light.
Goodness and hope, perhaps. Where'd you get this?
At the bottom of the trunk.
My God, Lemon! But the thought of you reducing the trunk of Dickens Theatricals to matchsticks to drape yourself in a bed covering and run around as a ghost, well, that's droll. You should put it in the next edition of Punch.
That's Punch.
I see you're prepared to carry on the tale.
We are.
Excellent. I've arranged a small processional.
Is a funeral too much to hope for?
Don't drop those, Frederick. No, you're in front and you're behind. Up you go, Helen. You're first. Don't eat them, Stanny. Carry them. Don't bruise that fruit, Frederick.
An impossibility. Newton defied.
Pardon me. But are we about to cannibalize our dinner for the sake of the story?
Never fear, Uncle Porpoise. This is only the beginning of the feast.
I certainly hope so. The poor beast is stunted.
It's not so small if you ask me.
No, it's not the main course. In her wisdom, Catherine concluded that a smaller goose ought to be procured in the event that the larger goose prove insufficient. You'll be happy to know, Uncle Porpoise, that the larger goose is safe and simmering in the oven.
Not that he didn't try to get that one too.
There's barely a thing left downstairs. Mary is positively in a turmoil.
As she should be, having dinner stolen from under her nose like that.
Nonsense. Mary's an excellent woman and a cook most adaptable to any situation. In any event, I've sent her home, where she ought to be on Christmas Eve.
Dickens, I say may we, for the sake of the children that is, put these things down?
Yes, of course. Edibles on the window seat and utensils on the desk.
Ooh. My God, have you been to a pawn shop?
Frederick will recognize them as the old family tinware, which did in fact spend some time on Hampstead Road. We have yet to examine some of the families we've introduced. These few domestic items shall help us furnish their lodgings. I've seen another vision. This time the child was singing, so warm up your voices.
It could be worse. He could be flying.
When I come off stage and they try to grab my cups before I can get off stage, I was like,
We left Ebenezer Scrooge in bed, wondering what variety of spirits will await him in the present and future. The bell tolled 1, and no shape appeared. 5 minutes. 10 minutes. A quarter of an hour went by. And now, Scrooge, being prepared for almost anything, was by no means prepared for nothing. Yet nothing came.
Approach, Ebenezer Scrooge. Come and know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. You've never seen the likes of me before. You've never walked forth with the younger members of my family, my brothers born in these later years.
I am afraid I have not. Have you many brothers, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for.
Nor have I seen the likes of you. You're so sour. The blood has gone bad in your veins.
Spirit, conduct me where you will. I learned a lesson last night which is working still. If you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Prophet, touch my robe.
We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin. Good tidings for Christmas and a happy new year. Oh, bring us some figgy pudding, oh, bring us some figgy pudding.
Ever has gotten your precious father
bring us some
then, and your brother Tiny Tim. And Martha wasn't as late last Christmas by a half an hour.
Here's Martha, Mother.
There's Martha. There's such a goose, Martha. I bless you, my dear, how late you are. They're keeping you longer and longer at the milliner's.
We had a great deal of work to finish up last night and had to clear away this morning.
Oh, never mind that, so long as you're here. Sit down by the fire, my dear, and have a warm. Here's Father coming. Hide, Martha, hide. Where? Under the table.
Merry Christmas, my dear.
Merry Christmas, Father.
Merry Christmas, Peter.
Merry Christmas, Father.
Where's Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming on Christmas Day?
She had so much work at the milliner's. They sent someone round to tell the families that all the girls would be staying.
Oh, well, if she feels she must stay, then we'll abide by her good judgment. But it hardly seems fair to work on Christmas Day.
I'm here, Father. I can't stand to see you disappointed, even for a joke.
So we're all together after all. Then it will be a Merry Christmas.
Peter, take him off to the wash house. The goose will be ready before we know it.
Right, ma'am. All right, Timothy, this way.
And tend to the pudding, Belinda. It mustn't be overdone. What if it were? And how did Tim behave at church?
As good as gold. And better. Somehow he gets thoughtful, sitting by himself so often, and he thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home from church today, that he hopes the people remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see. Then I trotted us round to the shop windows, where he stared for the longest time at the toys. Sensing his spirits beginning to droop, I galloped us straight away to the Cornhill Street, where in honor of it being Christmas, we went down the slide 20 times.
25.
Right you are, Tim, 25.
You haven't made the punch yet, Father. It can't be Christmas without your special punch.
That's a fact. What could I be thinking to forget such a thing? Here's Christmas dinner practically on the table and not a drop of Bob Cratchit's special punch in evidence. Easily remedied.
Here we are, perfectly clean and wonderfully starved.
The goose is all but calling to be brought to the table. Martha, help your father with the punch.
No need, no need. All done and in a trice.
Remarkable timing, Father.
Let no man say that old Bob Cratchit can't mix his special punch with the swiftest of them.
Here's the goose.
Bravo, a glorious bird.
Never has there been such a bird. A truly marvelous fowl, Miss C.
So small a goose for so large a family.
And a pudding. Have you ever seen such a one? I ask you, Martha.
The girls at the shop would be ashamed to display theirs anywhere in the vicinity.
Here, here.
And you, Master Peter? Have you ever laid eyes upon the mortal pudding that could equal this wonder?
In all my years as a Christmas pudding observer, I have never seen a finer.
And that's a high compliment indeed. Tell me a higher one and I'll use it. As for you, Miss C, I believe that this is your greatest success since our marriage.
Well, that's a great weight off my mind. I don't mind I had my doubts about the quantity of flour.
Never fear, Mother. It's perfect.
Now, before plunging into this splendid feast, I'd like to propose a health. A Merry Christmas to us all. God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat in the chimney corner, and a crutch without an owner, carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
Kind spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here.
What of it? If he be like to die, then he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Man of man you be, will you decide what men shall live and what men shall die? In sight of heaven, it may be that you are less fit to live than this poor family's child.
It may be, Spirit. It may be.
A toast! A toast, everyone! Mr. Scrooge! I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed.
I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon, and I'd hope he'd have a good appetite for it.
My dear, the children, Christmas Day.
It should be Christmas Day, I'm sure, on which we drink the health of such a stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge. You know he is, Robert. Nobody knows it better than you do.
My dear, Christmas Day.
I'll drink his health for your sakes in the days, not for his. A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to him. He'll be very merry and very happy, I have no doubt. Mr. Scrooge.
Mr. Scrooge. Have an open heart. I beg you. It's Christmas after all, and in many ways I feel that Mr. Scrooge is a great deal less fortunate than we.
Impossible.
Not at all. Compare our condition with his. He has no family to gather round him, no warmth, no cheer. He has none but his own voice to listen to, and none to answer. I believe that we are a great deal more fortunate than he.
A clerk who makes 15 shillings a week and counts himself more fortunate than you.
Remembering those who are less fortunate, let us say grace. Kind Father, bless this humble portion. Bless our home. Bless our family. Bless our happiness. May we share them with all who may ask. In your name.
Amen. You cannot move within that circle.
Why not, Spirit?
Did you not hear the clerk take measure of his employer? You are drifting alone outside and cannot get in. You have no circle.
I deny it, Spirit, I deny it. If any kindness has withered, it has done so on its own accord. I had nothing to do with it. If kindness wishes to wither, it withers.
You have a long journey to make, and but a short time in which to make it. Let us see another house in this teeming city.
And as I live, he said Christmas a humbug. He believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
He's a comical old fellow, that's true. Though not as pleasant as he might be. However, his offenses carry their own punishment, and I'll never nothing to say against them.
Well, I'm sure he's rich. At least you always tell me so.
What of that, my dear? As well as it's no use to him. He doesn't do any good with it. He doesn't make himself comfortable with it. He doesn't have the satisfaction of things ever going to benefit us with it.
I have no patience with him.
Oh, I have. I feel sorry for him. I could be angry with him if I tried. Here he takes into his head to be angry with us. He won't come to dine with us. What's the consequence? He doesn't lose much of a dinner.
He does.
Well, I'm glad to hear it. I don't have any faith in these young housekeepers. What do you say, Topper?
I am a bachelor, and a bachelor is a wretched outcast who has no right to express an opinion on the subject.
Do go on, Fred. He never finishes what he begins to say. Such a ridiculous fellow.
I was only going to say that I mean to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but he can't help thinking better of it if he finds me going there in good humor year after year, saying, "Uncle Scrooge, how are you?" If it only puts him in a mind to give his poor clerk 50 pounds, that's something. And I think I shook him yesterday.
From the sound of it, I don't see where there's any more chance of shaking him than shaking the rock of Gibraltar.
Less, I should think.
My dear Fred, I seem to recall that you promised a song would issue from the lovely throat of our hostess. Am I correct, sir, or am I mistaken?
Not mistaken at all. On your behalf, my dear, I pledged you would sing us a song befitting the season.
You did?
I had to. It was the only course to prevent Topper from playing his violin. And as I made the promise over the punch bowl, you really must oblige. Any promise made near a punch bowl is binding. It's a grave risk to one's honor not to carry through.
If you don't sing, we'll have no chance but to put this little warbler into the field. And I think we'll all have cause to regret that.
I'm a very fine singer. I'm a soloist in the church choir.
A soloist in church? Would you consider a duet?
We'll both sing, to save Fred's honor. I know, the one Fred's mother taught him.
Oh, Little Christmas Child. Good, my favorite. Do you know that one, Topper?
I know them all.
Oh, Christmas child, oh, Christmas child, why do you cry, little Christmas child? Old men need your smile. What a world of joy, cries the Christmas boy. Is lost in the hearts of men. Come you see the sight on this Christmas night. A star is the blaze within. Oh, Christmas child, oh, Christmas child, I see the star, little Christmas child, shining from your heart.
I commend your choice of songbirds, my dear friend. But what sort of net did you use to catch her?
Topper, whatever makes you think he caught me?
A game is in order, I think.
A game, blind man.
Blind man's buff, an excellent idea.
I volunteer.
No, quite all right, Freddy. I volunteer. In fact, I insist.
Oh, your every wish, my dear Topper. Oh, where's that blasted handkerchief? There it is. Any last requests?
Only one.
Here we go. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Go! This way! Copy this way! Come this way! Lead me! Around! That way! Who could this be?
Well, I had no idea. I thought it was dear old Jenny.
No, you didn't, Spirit. No, you didn't. He knew who it was all along. Cheater!
Another game.
Another? Then sit down.
A word game, then.
My time grows short.
Oh, but there's another game, Spirit. One more game.
If you wish.
This is a game called Yes and No, where I think of something, and you have to guess what it is by asking me questions, which I can either answer yes or no. All right, I've got it.
What is it?
Is it a living thing?
Yes.
Is it an animal?
Yes.
Is it a tame animal?
No, it's rather disagreeable.
Is it savage then?
Yes, fierce.
Does it make a noise?
Yes.
Does it bark?
No, though some may differ on that point.
Does it meow?
Definitely not.
That rules out the cats.
Does it growl or grunt?
Yes, I'd say it does both.
He's got him stumped. A brilliant boy, Fred.
Is it a bear?
No.
Does it live in the jungle?
No.
Does it live in the zoo?
No, at least I don't think of it as a zoo.
What does that mean? He doesn't think of it as a zoo?
It must be a city then. Does he live in the city?
Yes.
Clever boy, but not clever enough for my Fred. That boy's sharp as a needle.
Is this sold on the market?
No. But it is often found near the exchange.
Does it walk the streets?
Yes.
Does anyone lead it?
Not that I've ever seen Evans, no.
Not a dog or a horse, then. Is it a person?
No.
Is it a sociable creature?
Most unsociable.
Is it sold on the market?
I thought we already answered that one.
Is it an ass?
How can it be an ass, you goose? An ass is lead.
No.
It grunts and growls, lives in London, walks the streets, is disagreeable and unsociable.
I know it. I know it.
I found it out. I know what it is, Fred. I know what it is.
It's the tax collector.
It's your Uncle Scrooge.
He's given us a lot of merriment, I'm sure, and it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. I say, Uncle Scrooge.
Uncle Scrooge.
You seem to be the source of much merriment.
Yes. For others. hair is gray, Spirit. Our Spirit's life so brief.
My time upon this globe is very short. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
At midnight. The time grows near.
What place is this?
Children are buried here.
Children?
Each was under the age of 10.
Of what did these children die?
Of cold, of poverty, of hunger, of disease, of the careless neglect of comfortable thousands.
They are buried so closely. They're almost one on top of the other.
Naturally, when their numbers are so great and each child so small.
Where did all these children come from that they should die so soon?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
Spirit, don't leave me in this place! I am in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me shadows of things that have not yet happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? O ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to live to be another man from what I was, I'm prepared to bear you company. Will you not speak to me? Lead on. The night is waning fast, and 'tis precious time to me, I know. Lead on.
Have you heard the news?
Indeed I have.
Do you know the details?
I don't know much about it either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
What was the matter with him? Thought he never died.
God knows.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps. He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know. It's likely to be a very small funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anyone going. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer?
I don't like going if lunch is provided. I'll make the pilgrimage, but I must be fed.
I'm the most disinterested among us, for I never eat lunch and I never attend funerals. I'll go if anyone else will. So much for that. But what has he done with his money? Well, don't want to miss the morning tradings.
That's the most fitting tribute.
My Spirit, this is the exchange. And these are men of business, very wealthy and very important. They're my very good friends, and I always make a point of standing well in their esteem. But then, if this is the exchange, and these are my associates, where am I? I don't seem to be standing in my usual corner, and this is most certainly my time of day. Spirit, I have been revolving in my mind a change of life. Could this be the outcome?
Carm.
Let the charwoman alone go first, and let the laundress alone go second, and let the undertaker go third.
Hey! Look here, Joe. Here's a chance having all three met here without meaning it. Could have met in a better place. We're all suited to our calling. We're well matched.
What odds then? What odds, Mrs. Dilbert? Every person has a right to take care of himself. He always did.
That's true indeed, no man more so.
Why then, don't stand staring as if you was afraid, woman. We're not gonna pick holes in each other's coats, I suppose.
No, indeed. I should hope not.
Who's the worse for lots of few things like these? Not a
Dead man, I suppose.
Not him. True enough. If he wanted to dispose him after he was dead, why wasn't he more natural in his lifetime? If he had been, he'd have had someone to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of gasping his last there, alone. It's a judgment on him, the wicked old screw.
I wish it were a heavier one. And it would have been too if I could have laid my hands on anything else. Examine the bundle, Joe, and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. I'm not afraid to be the first, nor afraid for them to see it. We all knew pretty well that we were helping ourselves before we met here, I believe. It's no sin. Examine the bundle, Joe.
No, my dear, you mustn't. Joe, praise my lot first.
That's what I've admired in you all these years. Always the gentleman.
Nah. Now these are originals. I haven't seen their like in at least half an hour. That's your count, and I wouldn't give another sixpence. I were to be boiled for not doing it.
Why?
Don't try nothing on man. Who's next?
I'll be next. Some nice items, fairly used.
2 shillings.
Worth twice as much.
Now these ain't bad. Rather handsome. Might thin though. 4 shillings.
I pay high price for them boots, which is pressed these days.
Have pity on me, Mrs. Dilber. I'm just a poor old man trying to survive my retirement. Steady. Glass another winner. But it ain't the style. I have to knock off for that.
No one cares a penny for the style. What you being so pinch-fisted about? Your regular miser's bad as he.
I always gives too much to the ladies. It's a weakness of mine, and it's the way I'll ruin myself. And if you ask me for another penny, I'll repent of being so liberal and knock off half a crown.
Examine my bundle, Joe.
What do you call this? His coverlet?
His coverlet.
You don't mean to say you took it right off him, with him just laying there?
I do. Why not?
You were born to make your fortune, and you'll certainly do it. I hope you didn't die of anything catching.
Don't be afraid of that. I am so fond of him that I'd loiter about him if he did. You can look through that shirt till your eyes fall out, but you won't find a hole in it or a threadbare place. It's the best he had, and a fine one too. It'd have been waste if it had been for me.
What do you call wasting it?
Putting it on him to be buried in. Someone was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. If calico ain't good enough for such a purpose, it ain't good for nothing. It's quite becoming to the body too. He couldn't look any uglier than he did in this one.
You're a rare one. A rare one. What's this?
The prize of it all, that is. Found it wrapped in a piece of paper under a pile of old ledgers at the bottom of a trunk.
Wonder what he was gonna do with such a thing. Think he was gonna give it to some lady?
If he were, I saved him the trouble. None of the proper minds would have such a one as he. He's just as the undertaker said, unnatural from first to last.
A valuable piece. It'll fetch a nice price and feed old Joseph for a month.
This is the end of it, you see. He frightened everyone away from him while he was alive, to profit us when he was dead.
Spirit, I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. It tends that way now. Merciful heavens. What is this? Is this the man, Spirit, whose belongings these scavengers have plundered? Spirit, this is a fearful place. In leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson, trust me. Let us go. I understand you, and would do it if I could. But I have not the power, Spirit, I have not the power! Surely there is one man, or woman, or child who will speak kindly of him. Show me that person, Spirit. I beseech you. Let me see then some tenderness connected with the death. Or this dark chamber will haunt me forever.
The light hurts my eyes. Makes them weak working by the candlelight. For the world, I wouldn't show weak eyes to your father when he comes home. It must be near his time.
Past it, rather.
but I think he's walked a bit slowly these past few nights.
Tim on his shoulders, he used to walk very fast indeed.
I've known him to run nearly.
He galloped, but he was very light to carry, and your father loved him so that it was no bother.
There's your father at the door.
Merry Christmas, my dear.
Merry Christmas.
The goose smells lovely, and the pudding, I can almost taste it. Did you help your mother, Belinda?
She made the pudding.
By myself I did.
No. You'll have your own bakery in no time.
We're gone a long time, Bob.
Yes, I took a longer way.
You went today, then?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would do you good to see how green a place it is, even this time of year.
We'll go soon when the weather warms.
You'll never guess who I met on the street today. Mr. Scrooge's nephew. He only sees me once a year, and yet he spoke as if we were the dearest of friends. He heard about our distress, and he said, "I'm mighty sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, and heartily sorry for your good wife." By the by, how he knew that, I don't know.
What, dear?
Why, it's your good wife.
Everybody knows that.
Very well observed, my boy. Heartily sorry for your good wife. Now gather round for a toast. A Merry Christmas to us all, and a healthy new. Our boy, our poor little boy.
Spirit, tell me, is there a reason the boy had to die? I know not how, but something tells me that our parting moment is at hand. Tell me, what man was that whom we saw lying dead? A churchyard? Before I draw nearer, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or are they the shadows of things that may be only? Be the man I have been. Why show me this if I'm beyond all hope? Good Spirit, pity me. No, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Tell me, Spirit, that I may sponge away the writing on this stone. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The past, the present, and the future. The past, the present. I'm alive. I'm alive. And this bed is my own. And this room is my own. And the time before me is my own. The ghost spared me, I knew it. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me. Oh, Jacob Marley, heaven in Christmas time be praised for this. I say it on my knees, old Jacob. On my knees. I don't know what to do. I'm as light as a feather. I'm as happy as an angel. I'm as merry as a schoolboy. I'm as giddy as a drunken man. There's the saucepan that the gruel was in. There's the door by which the ghost of Jacob Marley entered. There's the corner in which the ghost of Christmas present sat. It's all right. It's all true. It all happened. A Merry Christmas to everybody. A Happy New Year to all the world. I don't know what day of the month it is. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. I'm quite a baby. Never mind. I don't care. I'd rather be a baby. Glorious, glorious. Hello there. Hello. What's today?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
It's Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do anything they like. Of course they can. Hello there, my fine fellow.
Hello?
Do you know the poulterers in the next street but one, the one at the corner?
Well, I should hope I did.
An intelligent boy, a remarkable boy. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging there? Not the little prize turkey, the big one.
You mean the one as big as me?
Oh, it's a pleasure to talk with you. Yes, my buck.
It's hanging there right now.
Is it? Go buy it.
What, me? Go on.
No, I'm serious. Go buy it and tell him to bring it here so I may give the man direction where to take it. Come back with the man and I'll give you a shilling. Come back with him in 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown.
Guard!
I'll send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim, 4 times the size of Tiny Tim.
Scrooge and Marley's, I believe.
My dear sirs, how are you? I hope you succeeded yesterday. It was very kind of you. Oh, wonderful gesture. A Merry Christmas to you both.
Mr. Scrooge?
Yes, that is my name, and I fear it may not be very pleasant to you. Allow me to ask your pardon. And will you have the goodness?
Lord bless me! My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included in it, I assure you. Will you do me that favor?
My dear sir, I don't know what to say to such munificence.
Don't say anything. Come and see me. Will you come and see me?
I will.
And I will. We both will.
Thank you, bless you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Scrooge went to church, and then he walked about the streets and patted children on the head. He never dreamed that anything could bring him so much happiness. In the afternoon, his steps found his nephew's house. He walked past the door a dozen times before he had the courage to go up and knock.
Uncle Scrooge?
Fred?
It's Uncle Scrooge. It's Uncle Scrooge!
Let him in. It's a mercy Fred didn't shake his arm off. He was at home in an instant. Jenny looked just the same. So did Topper. So did Dora. Wonderful party. Wonderful games. Wonderful happiness. But he was early at the office next morning. If he could only catch Bob Cratchit coming in late, that was the one thing he had his heart set upon. The clock struck 9. No Bob. 1:15. No Bob. He was a full 18 minutes behind his time.
Good morning, Mr. Scrooge.
Good morning, Mr. Scrooge. What do you mean by coming in here this time of day?
Please excuse me, sir. I'm a bit behind my time.
I should say you are. Step this way, if you please.
It's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge. It shan't be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday.
Now, I'll tell you what, my friend. I'm not going to stand for this sort of thing any longer.
Mr. Scrooge,
And therefore, I am going to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob! A Merry Christmas, Bob, my good fellow, than I have given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and endeavor to assist your family, and we shall discuss it this very afternoon over a Christmas bowl of your special punch. And you put more coal on that fire before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. A Merry Christmas, Mr. Scrooge.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he became a second father. He became as good a man, as good a friend as the good old city knew. Some people laughed to see the alteration in him, but he paid them little heed. For he was wise enough to know that nothing ever happens for good on the slope at which some people do not laugh at the outset. His own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. From that day, it was always said of him he knew how to keep Christmas well, if any man alive possessed the knowledge. For it occurred to him that his Maker and ours gave him that memory with a very specific purpose in mind.
Speaking of memory, I recall there being a rather large goose in the oven downstairs. Are we going to eat it or aren't we?
Directly, Uncle Porpoise.
Then, as Mary's gone home, I'll need some assistance.
Helen and I will check the goose.
We mustn't let it get overdone.
What if it were? Run, Helen!
I'd better go give him a push, in case he gets jammed in the doorwell.
You are ever the humanitarian. Help them, will you, Stanny?
Of course.
Charlie will get out the lights.
You know, Freddie, I was really impressed overall by your performances. Except for a major flaw here and there in your characterizations, you really quite surprised me. Didn't he surprise you, my dear?
Oh yes, I was very impressed. I never knew you were hiding so much talent.
You'll get him going and he won't stop for hours.
Yes, well, that's why you're just a painter, Stanny. The bulk of your talent has yet to find its way out of your right hand. I contrarily will. What more can be said?
Very little, I'm sure.
Merry Christmas!
The same to you.
I liked your story.
Thank you. Would you like to hear another one?
Does it have a boy in it?
Yes, but no crutch. This one is about a boy and his sister, and a sea captain and his mate. Now, the father of the children is called...
Dombey!
Dombey? No. Really? All right then, Dombey.
He did a solo about it.